What up, people? What's good? Salute.
Yes, sir.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Salute to the tribe. We're hip hop and comics and hip hop. We're a niche channel. Reserved for the best. It's super dope. I do sell comics. Check me out on Instagram at @6th_element_comics. Yeah, because comic books are the sixth element of hip hop. What it is, what's good, sixth element of hip hop. I'm your host, Reno Noir. It is Thanksgiving. Happy Turkey Day. If that's your thing. I don't really celebrate. It's just another day. But yeah, another day that the pilgrims raped and pillaged the natives and stole their land and initiated genocide. Let's celebrate. No, it's always a good time to have get together with family and all that good stuff. So if you're doing that, cool. I've elected to spend my paid holiday time just chilling, maxing, relaxing, doing what I want to do, not worrying about cooking a giant feast or dealing with in-laws and relatives. Not this year. Chilling with you guys. Decide, you know what? I'm gonna hang out. I'm gonna kick it. Me and my son kicked back. We watched a bunch of medieval fantasy movies. We started with like Dragon Slayer, Krull. Well, we got Willow. What else? Excalibur. Yeah, we watched a bunch of classics. Other than that, man, just kicking it. But we got a good show. I got good stuff. I got good stuff to talk about today. Galactus, all that good stuff. Shalabal, Silver Surfer, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, Captain America, Hawkeye Season 2, Avengers Doomsday, Secret Wars, castings, all that good stuff. Craven, Star Wars, you name it. And honestly, it's so underwhelming. I'm gonna be honest, like the MCU just lost all its. I don't know. I don't know because like it was the shit. Like MCU was the shit, and ever since Endgame ended, I was like, well, what are they gonna do now without Robert Downey and Chris Evans and the cast, Hemsworth, all these characters that we've grown to care about over a decade, right, or whatever, however long, and they're gone now. I was like, whoa, this is gonna be weird, and it was weird, and it just didn't. They never in my opinion, they never recaptured that magic that the original MCU cast had. Russo brothers, the original people making the movies. It's sort of like they kept, and I know everybody's like, oh, the MCU, it's too woke, feminine this, feminine that. Honestly, if you do female leads and female antagonists and female action heroes and female superheroes right, I think it's the best. I think it's better. It's my favorite. Like, honest, to keep it a buck, it's my favorite. I love female leads. I love female badasses. I just think it's cool. It's fun to watch. I'm into it, but it's like that's not what they're doing. You know what I mean? And so like a lot of people are like, no, you know what I mean? So it's not that there's females. It's not that it's female centric. None of that is an issue. The issue is that the people writing, the people making the movies suck. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know comics. They don't know superheroes. They don't understand the genre. They don't understand the fans. They don't understand what we go to the movies for. They don't understand what we have a passion about these characters for. They don't understand what we love about it. And therefore, they don't understand what to do and what not to do. I mean, it's pretty simple. And all you have to do is find someone that knows comics. And it's like they purposely, it's a Disney thing, I guess. They're doing the same thing with Star Wars. They're intentionally finding writers and directors that don't like the stuff that they're writing and directing. I guess they think that's the way to get a unique take. Why don't you just have a unique take and writers that care about the shit they're writing about? You're supposed to write what you know. You got to write what you love too. I mean, And hey, devil's advocate, Tony Gilroy, admittedly not a Star Wars fan, Andor, best Star Wars show probably at all ever. Period. So hey, there you go. But anyway, the MCU's got some offerings. Okay, we're gonna talk about them because I've done like 7 DC videos in a row lately. We normally do DC shows on Saturday. We do Marvel and hip hop and all the other good stuff that we love on Wednesday. That's our main day. And then kind of DC was like a niche day, a little side day for DC fans. We're going to do that on Saturday. And now DC, the DCU, James Gunn, Matt Reeves, the Batman universe, way more exciting, way better, way more comic friendly, understanding fans, understanding the content, adapting the comics, and you know, it has nothing to do with females and diversity and all this stuff that honestly Disney is using as a crutch and a defense, saying, "Oh, you just don't like us because we're this and we're that." No, you just don't like it because it's not good. Like, get over yourself. It's not good. You got it. You got to fix it. This isn't what Disney literally paid billions of dollars for Marvel and or for Star Wars and stuff because they were Disney. They were the Disney princesses. They had, the women, the girls, whatever, loved Disney. Boys really didn't deal with Disney too much. Boys weren't into Disney. Like, once we got over 5 years old, we weren't into Disney anymore. And so they wanted to bring the boys in. So they're like, okay, let's buy Star Wars and Marvel because that's what the boys like. And then it's like they forgot that's why they bought it. And hey, we're in the spot we're in now, and we're about to watch a Fantastic Four movie without the Silver Surfer, with only the Silver Surfer's wife. That's who Shia LaBeouf is. That's who the female Silver Surfer that they thought would be a great idea. Let's do that. After all the backlash, let's now do the female Silver Surfer, because that's what the fans clearly want, right? Read the fucking room, Marvel. But anyway, like this in the comics, Shia LaBeouf is Silver Surfer's wife. See, one time in one comic, they made it where Galactus let Silver Surfer bring his wife, and they made her a Silver Surfer too. So it was the two of them as a team. Well, there's no comic where the Silver Surfer is a female. The Silver Surfer is a female. No, it doesn't exist. There's a comic where the Silver Surfer's wife is a Silver Surfer with him. But to have this movie with only her, you're clearly pressing buttons. You're clearly trying to annoy people. You're clearly doing it for an agenda. You're clearly doing it to say, look what we can do, because we can. And it's tacky. It's tacky. It's low class. It's a shady move. Why not just have her in it too? Why not just do like the comic did? And this is how DC would have done it. They would have been like, okay, we want to do that. Okay, well, let's get the comic where there's a female Silver Surfer in it, and we'll adapt that story. Fine. You wouldn't hear no complaints from me. My biggest complaint with Marvel, though, is that they will take a movie and they'll make a movie, like, for example, an Iron Man movie, just for sake of whatever. They make an Iron Man movie, right? And instead of adapting a certain author's version of Iron Man, or a certain comic book run, or a certain, graphic novel, or just a certain story arc or something like that, they'll take stuff from Iron Man from the 50s. They'll take the stuff from Iron Man from the Ultimate Universe. They'll take stuff from, Iron Man from the 80s. They'll take stuff from when Iron Man wasn't Tony Stark, right? And they'll add all this shit together in one story and act like that was one story, when the things in there, like any comic fans watching it going, what? Like, that's not from him. Who? How? No. And it's like, cool. I guess they wanted to like, we just want to encapsulate all of the Iron Man goodness. We want to get something from here, from here. We want to just give it all to you. Well, I guess it's nice in theory, but that doesn't make a good story, does it? Is that the way you write stories? That's a compilation. That's a hodgepodge. That's a collage. And for example, I will say DC, the DCU, and not this is hey, I'm not praising DC like they're better than Marvel. I'm a Marvel guy. This is why I'm pissed. Okay. DC EU had nothing on Marvel. They tried to do what the MCU was doing, couldn't compete. Couldn't compete to pre-Endgame Marvel. DCU, okay, it's not working. Let's get that guy that made all the great MCU movies, Guardians of the Galaxy movies, by the way, best movies in the MCU, without question. Let's get him to do our DC universe. So now he's going to come over, he's going to read, and this guy's a comic fan. This guy's a movie maker. He's a comic movie fan. He makes comic movies. He does it well. He's got a track record. He's good at it. He's a fan of it. And that's what's important, is that he's a fan of it. That is important. Disney, God damn it, it's so important. It really is. It just is. In this situation, with this type of stuff. Maybe something else, no. With comics, yes. With Star Wars, very important. So, but anyway, you right now we've got Fantastic Four is the next big movie, and it promises to be very different, very unique. I see it as more of the same. I think it's more of the same, like we got with Eternals and Love and Thunder and the Marvels and She-Hulk, and it's like it's just more of the same. But I still, like I said, I'm a Marvel fan, so I still have like, it's not that I have high hopes, but I have faith. It's not faith either. It's loyalty. Maybe I'm loyal, so I'm gonna see it and like I'm gonna root for it. But like so far, I'm looking at what DC's got coming down the road. Fuck the past. From today, I'm talking about from today forward, right? Anything before today, we're not talking about that. I'm talking about from today moving forward, what Marvel's got laid out and what DC's got laid out. It's night and day. Like I'm super excited for what DC's got out. I'm super leery about what Marvel's offering. Really leery. None of it really looks great. Captain America doesn't look great. They're reshooting after reshooting. New directors. They can't figure it out. Thunderbolts. It's got a slim shot at being watchable. Like a buddy, funny kind of, again, another trying to do Guardians again. And see, that's the problem. Ever since Guardians, Marvel has tried to recreate the Guardians formula, where it's like funny and it's like, leave that to the Guardians. You've got to stop. But they have not stopped. They have not. They mashed the gas. They're like, oh, that's the formula. That's the formula. And they just, so, Thunderbolts, maybe. Until Doomsday and Secret Wars comes and the Russo brothers are back and Robert Downey Jr., an actor that we care about, is back, I have a lot more faith. And I'm excited about some of the things I'm hearing, especially about the Beyonder. We have not seen a live action Beyonder ever. Secret Wars is a cool story. I hope that they adapt the Jonathan Hickman version. But knowing Marvel, and here's what they're going to do. They're going to take stuff from the first Secret Wars and stuff from the new Secret Wars. They're going to mix it all up, and it's like not going to make sense because that's not how it happens, and that's not what it, but it's what they do. So MCU not looking too hot. It's not looking too hot. And that hurts me to say. It hurts me to say. It really does. So don't think that I'm like, don't try to argue with me. Oh, no. Listen, you're preaching to the choir. I don't want to see this happen. Um, I think one of the biggest things that I am I'll use this word sparingly, excited about is Galactus, right? We got teased so bad with the first Galactus, and that puffy cloud of smoke shaped loosely like Galactus didn't cut it. We now have the design of what Galactus is going to look like in the movie, and I got that for y'all today. There it is. So let me see if I can. Let me see if I can stick this over here. Bop. Boom. Ping. Bing. Bang. All right. So it's not like super duper duper exciting. Yo, man, my bad. Let me hop over and see what's up to the chat. What up, Norin, Raz, salute, Corey, peace, peace, peace. Fresno nerds, happy TG rather. Yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for coming and kicking it with us on this Thanksgiving day. I'm telling you, like, hey, and I even hope that they aren't like beaten down to the point where they've got to conform to whatever it is, whatever this formula is that Marvel's been spewing on us. But here we go. So Ralph Ineson, the guy that's playing Galactus, kind of, I guess he slipped. I guess they're calling it a slip. It's really, it wasn't on purpose. But ahead of Marvel's Fantastic Four movie, he's given us our first look at the impressive cast and the design for Galactus. Based on the original title with the same name, Fantastic Four is supposed to be one of the upcoming projects that's part of the whole next wave. This whole wave. It's going to star Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. I've got pictures of Pedro as Reed Richards. We'll show you those in a second. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Invisible Woman. Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm. And Eben Moss Batrach, I'm not sure how to say his name, from The Bear, and also from Punisher as Ben Grimm the Thing. The casting is in my opinion, weak, but who knows what they're doing with it. But now we have our first look at our Fantastic Four together, courtesy of a selfie posted by Pedro Pascal's Instagram account earlier this week. The photograph of the cast was captioned with "Our first mission together," and it included a photograph of WandaVision director Matt Shakman, who will also be heading the Fantastic Four movie. As mentioned, we do not yet know much about the plot of the new Marvel project, but according to Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige, Fantastic Four will be set in this alternate 1960s timeline, futuristic yet 1960s. Think of it as what the 1960s thought the future would look like. That's basically what it's going to be. Set to hit cinemas July 25th, 2025. But where is my here is the leak, I guess you could call it, that Ralph Ineson, the guy who's actually playing Galactus, mistakenly gave us. It's a bottle opener, and it's shaped like Galactus. It's a very basic design, but it's giving us sort of how this character is going to look, what Galactus they're going with. And like I said, it's not a CGI. This is it. This is the This is Ralph. This is actually the Galactus that's from the movie. This is how his headgear is going to look. Everything. Obviously, the mouth is not a human. That's just like a little bottle opener, a little metal thing. But that's the design overall, and that's how Galactus, will be shaped, I guess you could say. So the bottle opener was not a trinket specially commissioned for Ralph Ineson by the powers that be. No, it is a mass-produced item that one could probably pick up at your local comic shop. So the bottle opener wasn't modeled directly after the MCU Galactus look, but it's what the look will be similar to, if that makes sense. In 2007, we had the 20th Century Fox produced Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, and had Galactus, right, the life bringer and seeder of worlds, as a cloud, as a puff of smoke, a sinister looking cloud, to be fair, but a cloud all the same. Diehard Marvelites everywhere had a collective conniption upon witnessing what had been done to one of the Red Brand's greatest and most powerful villains. But that was a different era when studios often feared going to comic booky with aesthetics audience would find goofy and wouldn't go for. And so, that's why you have live action comic stuffs trying to seem so realistic, because the industry believed that it wouldn't be taken seriously, and they based that in the fact that early adaptations did try to go super accurate, but were also bad, and so they mistakenly thought that people didn't like it because the comic accuracy, instead of admitting that it's just because it was bad, much like the current regime at Marvel and Star Wars is doing, and blaming everything else instead of just admitting it's not good. As for the Fantastic Four First Steps Galactus, a blink and you miss it glimpse at the character was shown in the footage from the San Diego Comic-Con 2024. So we kind of, whatever, but he's kind of just, got his eyeball looking in the Baxter building. But man, it looked comic accurate. It was what I would want to see in a live action Galactus. I think about the Eternal. I think about the the Eternals, but the Celestials, the Celestial in the Eternals, right, was done really well. Like, I really dug that. I didn't even finish the movie Eternals, but I watched that scene because I really liked the Celestial, and I felt like, okay, well, if we see Galactus, it's going to be, similarly done. It's going to be similarly done to this. So that's kind of like what we're expecting. And it's important to remember that Galactus was a Fantastic Four villain first. All right, he was introduced in Fantastic Four number 48 in 1966. So this is the villain for this team, above all. You got Doom, you got Galactus. Those are Fantastic Four villains first. Not to mention that, it is widely believed that Galactus can't be killed, right? That he's just like a universal constant who can maybe be beaten or stopped, right? But never eliminated, right? Kind of like energy. It always exists in some form. But you can sort of stave his hunger off for a while, kind of thing. But it stands to reason that the Devourer of Worlds will be back in a future MCU project as well, sending one of his many heralds to inform planets that he's on the way to gobble them whole. He doesn't swallow planets whole, by the way. He doesn't eat it like an apple. Okay, he absorbs the energy with like a machine. It's very boring. It's not as cool as you would think. He doesn't really eat planets. So wouldn't that be awesome if he literally just ate planets, if he was that massive? But Reed, Sue, Ben, and Johnny may even somehow be flung across the multiverse during their battle with Galactus and land, in the MCU's Earth 616, right? Or Earth 199999 in some cases, depending on what they call it. But after all, Fantastic Four are confirmed for the next 2 Avengers movies as well. So Doom, obviously, we know is going to be in the Avengers as well. Do we know if he's going to be in Fantastic Four is the question. I believe he will. I believe we're going to see maybe even not the Robert Downey Jr. Doom, because remember, he's a version of Doom. Maybe not even Victor Vaughn. Maybe Tony Stark as Doom. We don't know yet. There's ways they can do it, ways it's been done in the comics that we think that they're going to follow. But Doom being in the movie, Galactus being in the movie. So I think Galactus, I think Doom, I think we're going to see them more than just once, which is awesome. I hate for them to waste, such a great character on a one-off deal. And, it just, they're bigger than that. They're better than that. They're worth more than that. They can do more than that. And I think it's important to utilize them in the most, But Disney reveals Fantastic Four official synopsis and confirms that Marvel's first family will face Galactus and Silver Surfer. I use that term lightly. Norrin Rad, Silver Surfer, Shalabal, whatever. Mole Man, yes, that is happening. Mole Man and the Moleites, or Molites, whatever they're called, his Molians, Mole Minions. Very excited for the potential is amazing, and it always is. Like, dude, I was so fucking excited for Thor: Love and Thunder. I thought I was like expecting, bro. At first I was thinking like Beta Ray Bill and this whole, it was gonna be so good, and like the way Ragnarok was almost really good, and like I thought like Love and Thunder, like I just had in my mind what it was gonna be like, and obviously what we got couldn't have been more different and worse. It couldn't have been worse. I digress. But yeah, so Matt Shankman's Fantastic Four, they're calling it First Steps. It may end up being called First Contact. I really hope they do change it to First Contact. First Steps sounds so lame to me. But I'm going to tell you why I think they're calling it First Steps, and I'm very excited about that prospect. But First Contact sounds cooler. But yeah, it's set to introduce the MCU's Fantastic Four through different timeline than the Earth 616. It's its own timeline, so it's unknown whether the team's alternate universe also has its own version of the Avengers, but we don't think so. We think that they're the only superheroes in their universe. They're celebrities. The point, and thank God when we do find them, it's not an origin story. Okay, we've done that to death. What, like 3 times already? Like, stop. So this one will take place. They're already kind of famous and potentially the only really superheroes on Earth in that universe. Potentially. So we hear. Maybe. That's the rumor. We think. It certainly has, the Silver Surfer-ish S. Shalabal, his wife, and Galactus, who are making their MCU debut. Live action. I'd say live action debut because Galactus didn't count the cloud thing. So 8 months ahead of the Fantastic Four First Steps release date, Disney unveils the official synopsis for the movie, which confirms that Fantastic Four, setting inspired by the 60s, Galactus the main villain, Silver Surfer, Herald. Synopsis goes like this. Set against the vibrant backdrop of the 1960s inspired retro-futuristic world, Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four First Steps introduces Marvel's first family. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, played by Pedro Pascal. Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, Vanessa Kirby. Johnny Storm, Human Torch, Joseph Quinn. Ben Grimm, The Thing, Eben Moss Backrack, as they face their most daunting challenge yet. Forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond, they must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus, played by Ralph Ineson, and his enigmatic herald, Silver Surfer, played by Julia Garner. And if Galactus planned to devour the entire planet and everyone on it weren't bad enough, it suddenly gets very personal. In a world. So that's pretty vague, and we kind of already know that, but yeah, there you go. That's the official word. It reveals that the Fantastic Four, the main villain's Galactus, right, who likely will come to consume Earth. as he often attempts to do in the comics and every cartoon and every movie that we've ever seen him in. While the synopsis also confirms Julia Garner's Silver Surfer will serve as Galactus's herald. It doesn't include any clues about the change of heart Norrin Rad usually experiences the first time he visits Earth, where he comes as Galactus Herald. He sees Earth, he sees the people, right? He sees humanity, and he loves it, right? He's like, oh, these humans, which in reality I don't buy for a fucking second. Any alien comes here, especially one as enlightened as Norrin Rad, it sees us, they're gonna be like, yeah, kill these fuckers quick. He comes, he's always like, it's beautiful, I want to save this planet, no, you got to fight Galactus, and he warns the Fantastic Four, and that's kind of how it always goes. Is Julia Garner's female Shallot Silver Surfer gonna be like super, just like, what would be cool is if she was just like hell of just heartless, right? And she just like didn't talk, didn't say shit. She just had like this scowl, and she just came and she was just like fucking heartless and brutal. And like, that would be kind of crazy. That would be something. Is it, hey, are they gonna do Norrin Rad and have him die in like a pre movie scene? Like, it kind of starts off, we see them together and like Silver Surfer, they're doing their thing, and like he dies in battle, and it's just Shalabal left. How are they going to address that? How are they going to address the fact that in the comics she's Norrin Rad's wife? And where's Norrin Rad, right? I like Secret Wars intro. He crashes through Doctor Strange's roof and says he's coming. Galactus cometh. Oh my god, this thing is still up on the thing. Well, yeah, I mean, that's what it's gonna kind of resemble, right? That's kind of Galactus's face. That's how we can, get an idea of what because I was like, what version are they gonna do? What kind of Galactus are they gonna do? How's he gonna look? What kind of headgear? What's the headgear gonna look? Because it varies slightly from comic to story, whatever. But the internet's blasting like this is what it's gonna look like. Honestly, like, it's pretty basic. Like, it's kind of like what Galactus kind of looks like. Like, he kind of always kind of looks like that. He's got a couple of other sort of iterations. Obviously the basic one, like on the screen here, or like, I mean, right there. It's not that different. I mean, he's got a tall hat with two kind of horn things on the side. Always his eyes have a mask covering. His mouth is always exposed. And he has a chin strap. My bad. And he has a chin strap. Like, that's how he looks. So here you go. I guess that's a peek. But I mean, look, you've got the eyes. You see how his eyes have like a mechanical, like almost circuitry kind of look. That's how they kind of look in the comics. And then you have these where they're like this, like blank, glowing, solid white eyes, like that. And so different ways. So I'd like to see this. To be honest, I'd really, really love to see the mechanical circuitry eyes, and I think it would definitely go with the motif of the movie. The futuristic sort of sci-fi look, and definitely be classic. The Fantastic Four costumes are classic. They are going with like classic style. You know what I mean? Like, let me see if I got these pictures here. Let me see. I can show y'all. So they've got like the very basic, just blue with the white trim. Nothing crazy. Where is my picture? Picture. Well, anyway, I'll find it right here. Hold on. Pedro Pasquale. Read Ricardo. Set photos. Is that the same one that I just was looking at? No. But I have this one. I know I have this one. I got it somewhere, y'all. I can't find it. Let me download it again. Because I was pretty happy to see these pictures. I was pretty happy. I was like, okay, cool. They're doing the OG. They're not going crazy with it. Like, they're not doing some weird new MCU version of shit. Which I don't. It's not like a full look at it, but you can kind of see like the trim of it and stuff like that. Why are they making it so elusive? Here we go. All right, here we go. You wouldn't believe the amount of articles where they just say, yeah, Pedro Pascal showed some set photos. You think we could see him? What the fuck? Like, what the fuck? There we go. All right. Check this out, y'all. Sorry for the delay. Here we go. See if I can blow it up real big. That's not big. Here we go. Bing, bing. Let me do this. What about this? What about this? What about this one? No, that's not one. This one. I don't have to do. Hang on. Not now, please. All right, let me see. All right. Well, you can kind of see his hair. He's got a very little bit of white. I would have liked to see much, much more white on the side, a much whiter white, and a much thicker white, a much more obvious white to be more obvious. But there you go. You can see he's got the baby blue colored pants on. He's wearing a hoodie to cover it. But there's a good shot of the boots and the suit. Take a look at that. See, the pants are blue. He's got the white boots with like blue soles on them. And the pants are like cloth, right? They're not armor plated, right? They're not some weird material, some gear like Kevlar fucking. They're just pants that a scientist would wear, right? That a science team would wear back in this weird 1960s metaverse, whatever. But there's Reed, right? Like, I guess it's Reed. It doesn't scream Reed Richards to me. Like, to be honest, that first movie with the Norrin Rad with the Silver Surfer in it, like that iteration with the with Chris Evans as Johnny Storm, like that Reed, that guy, he looked more like Reed Richards. Wasn't the best, but he damn sure looked almost like the comic. He's a little bit. I would like to see a little more stubble or something like that, but there we go. So this is it. But I think the costume looks promising, very promising, very very promising. In that it looks like the OG. JC3 Fresh, salute, happy TJ. TG. I keep saying TJ. Yeah, I'm just giving up. Silver Surfer will be right. Yeah, hopefully everything else is good enough. Yeah, honestly, there's nothing. It's Shalabal, so it can't be great. It's not Norrin Rad, who I really want to see. But to be fair, like, I'm not really mad at the first Silver Surfer movie that we got. Like, I know everyone, has their complaints and shit, and that Galactus really pissed me off. But the Silver Surfer himself was actually done pretty well. Like, I've got my Silver Surfer in live action fix from it, I'd like to see it done again with today's technology. But honestly, the people making MCU movies right now, I don't they're in another world, bro. They're in another world. It's like they live in Twitter. They're not in the real world, and it shows. And I don't know. I can't wait for them to get back. But the if Doctor Doom, right, is the personal threat that they're suggesting in the synopsis, right? Because then it gets personal, right? If Doctor Doom is the personal threat, then the Phase 5 movie might display strong similarities to all 4 previous live action Fantastic Four movies. And like all the movies so far have featured the Fantastic Four facing Doctor Doom in their early days as a superhero team. Fox's Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, introduced the concept of Galactus and Silver Surfer as a main villain and antagonist turn anti-hero, respectively. Apparently, these elements, being repeated in the MCU may not seem like an obstacle. So, what are you gonna do? One of the things that I'm hoping for, Norin, is that I'm not hoping for, but that I am excited for, or that I think has a lot of potential, and that is a character that I really love, is Franklin Richards. He's like the most powerful character in Marvel. Think about that for a second. Of all the characters in Marvel, gods, sorcerers, right? Fucking aliens, like all this crazy. Franklin Richards, the little boy, is the most powerful because he can literally manipulate reality. He can literally create universes. He's literally a god. That's how he was written. The tongue-in-cheek rumor is in Marvel Comics is that the reason all the superheroes kind of stay the same age and no one really grows up and Spider-Man's always like in his early 20s is because Franklin Richards, as a little kid, decided one day that all his friends and all his superheroes and everybody in Marvel that he loved so much, he wanted them to stay the same, and that's why. So, like, that's how influential and important and underrated Franklin Richards is as a character. It's the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm. And while it hasn't been confirmed officially or announced or cast or anything like that, multiple sources are saying that Franklin Richards will be a key part of the Fantastic Four First Steps. And remember a little bit ago when I said there's a reason why I think they're calling it First Steps. And I think it's because there's a little boy having his first steps. And like in the comics, because guys, I need you to get out there. I need you to go read Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four. It's called FF. Hickman's FF. Reed Richards. Galactus. Oh my god, if they even adapt it, bro. Bro, it could be. It's probably my favorite. It's the only Fantastic Four comic that I really dig, and I'm a big fan of the writer of Jonathan Hickman, and they're apparently pulling a lot from that version. And Hickman also did a Secret Wars, and all ties together. So Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four ties to Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, and Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars is Secret Wars, right? There's an old one from the 80s that isn't really like, what do you call it? Good to it. Is it's not really adaptable. It's not going to be a super adaptable comic, right? It wouldn't make a great modern movie that people would dig. They aren't going to really they don't really want to grapple with it. So the ones they're going to be using is going to be the Jonathan Hickman one. Right. And the fact that the Jonathan Hickman and the Avengers and Jonathan Hickman, Fantastic Four are linked. You also have a Jonathan Hickman Avengers versus X-Men. So what we're thinking is, like, after this thing, and Jonathan Hickman would make the best comic movies, period, that we would go from this thing. We already know Feige said we're going to mutants. And if they play their card, they do it right, by the end of the mutant saga, we'll be doing Jonathan Hickman's Avengers versus X-Men. That would be phenomenal. It would save Marvel. It would save the MCU straight up and down. It would save the fucking MCU. Stu Dog, welcome to the show. Your mic is muted, brother. If you are talking, I don't know if you probably still setting up or something. There you go. What's good? What's good? Oh, you muted again. Stu probably got that turkey-itis.
No, I'm setting up shop, man. I had to feed the fish real quick. I'm setting up. Just got done cleaning the kitchen a little something. So, you know what I mean? Just setting up. Still got a few people here, but give me 1 second.
Yep.
Give me 1 second.
Do your thizzle. Do your thizzle. Remember, it was back in August when we first heard that Galactus supposedly summons Marvel's first family by sending Silver Surfer to Earth, demanding that they bring Franklin Richards to him. If they refuse, he'll then destroy the planet. So, and what could we want with the boy? With the boy hasn't been revealed, right? So, we can look to the comics for clues, right? A lot of people that have never even heard of this character, Franklin Richards, and with Marvel Studios likely taking inspiration from Earth X, which is where Shalabal, Silver Surfer's wife, becomes, a Silver Surfer with him. There might be a connection between Franklin and, Galactus through that. But that's what I'm talking about with Marvel. They'll do a movie like Fantastic Four, and they'll take Earth X stories and mix it with the Jonathan Hickman FF stories, and they'll go OG original Fantastic Four Marvel shit and add shit from that, and they'll add all this hodgepodge stuff and try to make this story that doesn't work because Shalabal's not in the Jonathan Hickman Fantastic Four. Jonathan Hickman, right? The whole thing with Franklin and Galactus isn't in Earth X. So it doesn't, they have to I feel it's cheap. I don't know. It's cheap. It's cheap. It's cheating and it's cheap and it doesn't work. But we'll see. In that series, though, the Franklin Richards, this, incredibly powerful, at the time was still a mutant. They're saying Franklin Richards is a mutant, by the way. And it changed in the comics where he's no longer a mutant, but no one's really happy with that. And I hope they go ahead and retcon it back because that was a retcon nobody liked because everyone was kind of happy that he was a mutant. And so if they keep him a mutant for the movies, then it blends us right into the mutant stuff. And I think it's how they're going to go. He agrees to let the High Evolutionary transform him into the new Galactus so that he can, as Galactus, restore balance to the universe and protect it from the Celestials after his father turned the original version into a star. So Reed turns Galactus into a star, not a superstar, a sun, right? Of a fucking sun. And the Celestials are coming, and Franklin Richards goes to the High Evolutionary, who we now know from the Guardians 3 movie, and has him turn him into a new Galactus. He lost his memories, but given his, heroic past and guidance from the two Silver Surfers, the Nornrad and the Shalabal, he only consumed planets that would eventually give birth to a Celestial. Because Celestials use planets as like an egg, right? And so it's kind of like Dexter. By the way, there's a prequel coming out, a Dexter show. I can't fucking wait. Yes, I'm a Dexter fan. So it's like Dexter, right? He's a serial killer that only kills serial killers, right? So it's like channel it into a productive thing. And so they have him channeling his planet consumption to doing that. And that's a route that this movie could head in if it doesn't go the full on Franklin Jonathan Hickman FF route. Though, this latest rumor does make us think more likely, it's more likely Galactus, wants to use Franklin to open a doorway into other realities. particularly if he's aware that this universe is about to die. Right? And how better to feed his insatiable appetite than to have a multiverse of planets to dine on, so he can just eat them all and hop over to the other one. And that would kind of clash. So they're not talking about Franklin Richards. I think it's very, 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 very likely and strong that Galactus will be coming for Franklin Richards. But for now, we can only guess, but with previous reports claiming that these Avengers movies will focus on several teams, Franklin might open the door between worlds for, with America Chavez or something like that, doing that. But in the comics, Franklin was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and first appeared in Fantastic Four number 94 in 1969. He's been around forever. Possessing mutant abilities that allow him to manipulate reality on a vast scale, on a very, very big scale. His powers have manifested in various ways throughout different comic book appearances and different iterations, and he's gone to different levels, but set against the vibrant backdrop of this 1960s inspired retro futuristic world, this movie is I think going to be a very unique Fantastic Four movie. Like all the Fantastic Four movies before were different but similar, always modern, always taking place in a modern timeline, and all these things that made them very similar. Always an origin fucking story again and again and again. This one, like I said, they're gonna jump right into it. These guys are already heroes. We may even start out. I think the best way to open this movie, scene opens up, they're battling Mole Man right off the bat, right? We just jump right into a fucking battle. That's how you should start this movie. That's how The Incredibles started, if I'm not mistaken. But like, that's how you start a comic movie without doing the origin. You start it right off in the action, and people really want that. Now, forced to balance their roles, as heroes with the strength of their family bond, the different characters are going to defend Earth, in their own ways, from Galactus and Silver Surfer and whatever comes their way. And if Galactus plans to devour the entire planet and everyone on it were to die, and they weren't bad enough, it suddenly gets very personal. So that very personal line in the synopsis could mean a lot of shit. We've got other actors that we know are cast in the movie that have no character name yet. So Paul Walter Hauser, maybe he's Norrin Rad, maybe he's Franklin Richards. I don't know who that is. John Malkovich, I know who that is. I was really hoping he was Mole Man, but I don't think he is. And Natasha Lyonne, who is like super cool. She's the chick from American Pie. She was that like really cool kind of curly haired chick. She had like her own show recently, Russian Doll, which is made by Leslie Headland, who made The Acolyte, and that sucked, but Russian Doll was decent. But it's because of Natasha Lyonne. She's cool. I like her. I think she's cool. But she's in it. Don't know who she's playing. Matt Shakman did Avatar Way of the Water, which I just kind of skipped. I'm not an Avatar fan. It's like kind of like cliche. I don't know. It's really cool and everything, but it's just so cliche. And WandaVision's Cam Squires on the screenplay. So those are who's doing the writing. So I'm not super. I don't have a lot of faith in that and in those writers, in their track record and stuff they've done in the past. Not that I don't have faith that they can't do it. It's not that. It's that the stuff they've done, I've not personally been a fan of, so I can't know that what they're going to do is going to be good to me. If I see some writers who are like for the Russo brothers, I know they did some good movies that I like, so I have decent amount of faith that they're going to do good. Robert Downey Jr. literally liked everything he's ever done, so I have nothing but faith it's going to be good with him. That kind of shit. Pedro Pascal, Franklin Richards, though, huge prospect. Very, very much potential there. Super exciting. Can't wait. That's gonna be dope as fuck. Dope character. Um, hang on, this dude all getting set up. Um, so I think we'll transition. We'll transition to just a quick little bit of news about the Thunderbolts, reportedly set for reshoots. Test screening reactions weren't maybe like as super good as they could have been, so they're talking about maybe we should go back. Um, Helmed by Beef's Jake Shearer, Thunderbolts promises to, have like a big epic, high stakes, and changes to the MCU as it, concludes phase 5 and sets up the events for the upcoming Avengers sequels. The film sees the group of anti-heroes and former villains kind of doing tasks for the US government, while the plot details are being kept quiet. The recently released trailer, an extended trailer, which we watched the other day on the show here, seems to have dropped some clues regarding what we can expect. Pretty, like, you can watch that trailer. I can watch that trailer. I know exactly the movie that we're getting. Exactly. Maybe not the details and shit, the fine nuances, but I know what this movie's going to be. And it'll be entertaining. It's going to be entertaining. That's, I think, the most of it. The biggest mystery right now surrounding that asterisk on the title, which has led fans to theorize what it could mean for the group and for the MCU and for the movie. I think that's why they did it, obviously, to cause buzz. What's that mean? And it's going to be a lame. But some of the film stars have teased that the asterisk indicates major changes are coming. The rumored plot details suggesting a few of the team members may not survive that, but that none of that really means why that asterisk is there. I think the asterisk is literally there so that we would fucking ask why it's there and give us shit to talk about. But it does have an all-star cast, and like I said, it looks like it's gonna be entertaining. I think that's it though. Studo!
What up? What up?
How was your
You
how was,
told me it was Turkey Day. It was good. It was
it
good.
was your feast? Yeah, it was a
Yeah, man.
feast.
It was good, man. We talked, we ate, we're a family, and that's a wrap.
It's a
That's
good
a
deal.
wrap.
It's what you do. Yeah, it's what you do.
Yeah, it's a wrap. I mean, I still got a few people here, but they up there drinking and talking, so it's all good.
So yeah, I just kind of
Um,
like talked all about the Fantastic Four, and then I just now kind of wrapped that up and just was gonna like touch on a few items with the rest of the Marvel stuff before we hop into another topic. But Thunderbolts, I was just talking about, and I was like, yeah,
um,
what they're gonna do. But now the
yeah,
director confirms that the main focus is gonna be Yelena Belova. She's the main star of the movie. She's gonna be the main character. That's who the main
for Fantastic Four or for
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. Yeah, you can tell. Well, she's a woman,
Yeah.
number one, and it's the MCU. She's a
Yeah,
woman. No, I know people here say this. I'm not ragging. I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
girling. I'm not bitching. None of that. I'm just saying that's what they do. That's what they're doing. We got their template, and we know that's what they
yeah.
do. They push the women to the forefront. And it's got to be about a female character. She's got to be the star of the show, whatever. That's their formula. Cool, but you better make it good because you're gonna hear it if it ain't. And that's
Right.
just it.
That's it.
Look at yeah, that's just it. I mean, Fantastic Four. I seen a thing on my Google feed. They said they have set photos now,
Yeah,
things
show
like that.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I was just read. I didn't get a chance to read the article, but I looked at the pictures and it looks all right.
yeah, yeah,
That remains
yeah,
to be seen. Thunderbolts is we're gonna see what Thunderbolts is all about. That's all I can tell you. We definitely gonna see what it's all about because
yeah,
you got all of the misfit characters from the MCU or MCU, however you want to call it. And we're gonna see how they work together. We're gonna see if they can make magic like James Gunn did with Guardians of the Galaxy, because
Mhm.
pretty much that's what is. That's they don't have James Gunn anymore, and they don't have Guardians anymore, except for the films they already made. So this is their next Guardians film,
Yeah.
and they're gonna try to get three of these out of that if they can. But we'll see what
Yeah.
happens, man. We'll
Well,
see
you
what
can
happens.
see here on the poster, she's the one in the middle, like staring, looking at us. And then, of course, you got Bucky there. He's looking at us too. No one else is looking at us. Everyone else is looking at them.
Right.
So that shows that they're the stars and she's in the front. So she's the main star. Bucky's the co star. And everybody else is just the ensemble supporting cast. And that's what we figured. But it's now been officially confirmed. But hey, it is what it is. The reshoots are due to the screenings, the test screenings. The According to the Hollywood scooper Daniel Reichman, Marvel has scheduled some reshoots for the Thunderbolts in December, but it's unspecified how long the additional photography is going to last and any of that. But reshoots are very common occurrences for comic book movies, especially with the movie preceding Thunderbolts. You have Captain America: Brave New World undergoing extensive extra photography since the summer after wrapping filming last year. Captain America has gone through directors and all kinds of shit. It's not looking super solid. Thunderbolts was shot in February and June of this year. Um, they filmed in like Atlanta, Utah, and New York. But despite the reshoots, he's saying that Marvel is pretty happy with the film. And furthermore, the upcoming film held test screenings for audiences earlier this month, earning positive reactions from those in attendance. So that's promising. And yeah, there's some stupid ass shit that I'm gonna talk about on Saturday. I don't want to get into it right now, but about the studio being happy or unhappy with the reshoots. It's so funny because they're like the studio said they weren't happy with the Superman trailer. Gunn's trailer. The studio said Gunn's trailer wasn't ready. Gunn came back. He's like, guys, I'm the studio. I'm the one that said I wasn't happy with the trailer, dumbass. it's I said I wasn't happy with the trailer. I said make it better. I'm the studio. It's fucking my
Right.
studio. So they're so dumb. These authors, they get a headline and they run with a story and they twist it all out of configuration and make this whole other story. And now that the headline reads, the studio says Gunn Superman trailer not good enough. Bitch, it was Gunn that said the trailer wasn't. Fucking idiots.
It was Gundam
But
said it
anyway,
there. Right. So let's if he say it, then that means it wasn't good enough. But that
and
don't
that's
mean it wasn't good. It just
no,
wasn't
that
it
mean
wasn't up to his standards. Like if
yeah,
you
and
wrote
that's
an
a good
article
thing.
saying, it wasn't up to gun standards, all right, that's fine. But you want to damn you
Good.
putting it so that you putting all the hype on it. You putting all
Yeah.
the volatility on it. They
Spinning
they
on it.
they do that, man. It just like remember was it last summer when Method Man said he ain't doing Summer Jam anymore, and they wrote
Yeah.
all these articles trying to say he did Summer Jam. And he was like, nah, I just said that ain't my type of crowd. Like
Yeah.
like they gave us respect, but we ain't get love, and it's a difference because
Right.
they there to see somebody else. That's not our
Right.
crowd. Now the
Right.
crowd that comes see us is the crowd that come, and the crowd that comes see who else was there. That's the crowd that comes see them. Two different crowds. That's all I'm saying. And he said, I
Yeah.
never said. He said, and then he was at an interview, and a girl tried to ask him. He was like, first of all, like I said, I'm not doing it no more if it's that type of crowd there. That's not my crowd. That's not the crowd I perform for. So why should I
Yeah.
come? And so he
Yeah.
said, you get my crowd there, then we cool. And my crowd don't like the people that was there. So
And
that's just
yeah.
what it is.
And that's not a diss.
That's not a diss.
It's
That's
not a diss.
just a statement. That's
Yep.
him saying, look, I'm telling y'all, this is what I do. That's like saying if you a plumber, but somebody call you to do woodwork and you say, I can't do that. I'm a plumber. And then you go
Yeah.
back and say, well, I called this guy. He said he couldn't do it.
Yeah. He's
Well, he
whack.
can't do
He
it because
sucks.
yeah, he sucks. He's whack. He ain't that dude. Like he said, well, listen, he's not a woodworker. He's
A
a
fucking
plumber.
plumber. Not a
Yeah, if
carpenter.
you need, yeah, he's not a carpenter. All right, he might know something about carpentry, but
Yeah.
he ain't a carpenter.
Yeah.
And he said you need a carpenter. Then you can have a plumber come in. You don't need
Right.
me right now. That's just it. James Gunn said it wasn't good enough because even in that last thing on his ex post, he was just saying They're putting touches on, like this trailer has to knock it out the box. I don't care what
Mhm.
nobody tell you. I don't care who your mama know. I don't care none of that. This trailer better knock
It
it out the
has to.
box. When I seen the trailer for Superman Returns, the Marlon Brando, you know what I mean, where he was talking to Superman, and then Superman was flying, and they showed him sitting in space. Like that sent
Yeah.
goosebumps and chills up my spine. That was a dope trailer. I liked that. I liked that trailer. They mixed a little bit of old with the new, and it worked. You give me a
Right.
trailer. When we watch the Thunderbolts trailer, it's generic. It's just it's good. It's
It's
okay at
I mean,
best,
you can tell
but it
the
don't
movie's gonna be entertaining, but you know what it's gonna be. Like I
right.
can tell you
But it
that whole
don't
movie.
right, and it don't tell me I need to go see Thunderbolts.
Right. I'm
It's
not
all
hella
right.
excited about it. It's like I'll watch that from the
Right,
couch.
right. You want a trailer people watch 2 million times, 10 million times. They just looking at look. Now that we got YouTube and they putting trailers on, that
Yeah.
trailer better get 500 million hits because people like, man,
Yeah.
that's a dope trailer.
Running it over and
So
over. Yeah.
right, right. So yeah, it can't be a trailer of you showing the faces of the stars and they're talking
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, mm-mm. Superman better be in every inch of that trailer for the whole 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Speaking of
And
every
I'm
inch
not.
of the trailer, they're saying that Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom is going to be in, if not every scene, nearly every scene of the Avengers Doomsday movie. So he's a main character. He's not just going to be like a big. I was thinking he's going to be like a big bad. He'll come in at the end, kind of do a cameo. No, this is a Robert
No, we
Downey
know.
Jr. movie.
No, we know. They can't do that, Reno, because remember in the first Fantastic Four movie, they did that. Um,
What?
where they showed the Fantastic Four, and at the very end, Doom came in and they
Yeah,
beat him in like 2.5 seconds, and then that
yeah,
was it. Nah,
that's
they can't
trash.
do that formula. Don't work. We know that. Yeah, that's trash. Yeah, we can't do that. The villain
Oh.
got to be in there the whole way. He got to be in there causing trouble. He got to be in there making it happen.
and and I don't think he's gonna be, the way we know how Marvel does with their villains. He's not gonna be a bad guy. He's not gonna be a villain per se. He's gonna be a tragic soul who has a tortured guy. He has to, he's understandable and that kind of thing. That's how he's gonna be, and he'll be throughout the movie. So he's gonna be an anti-hero, in a way.
You think so?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't
because
have any. I don't have. Yeah, I don't have any. I'll take anything right now
because
because I don't have any expectation.
yeah, well, because it's gonna be a multiverse situation where uh, it's either going to be Tony Stark being somehow turned into Doctor Doom, or it's going to be, it's going to be a version where Tony Stark is Doctor Doom, whatever multiverse. So it's something. It's going to be in some situation like that, but he's going to be throughout the whole movie apparently, and I think he might be in the end of Fantastic Four because that whole movie is going to be about Galactus and Shalabal, and I think at the end we'll see Doctor Doom, and then he'll kick off and be in the whole Avengers movie and do the whole
Mm,
Avengers thing. But before we get to that, right now the next joint we got to get through is the Captain America: Brave New World, which has many failings, and it just had another failed screen test. Marvel calling for more reshoots again, and this movie's like about to drop, like it's a few months away, and they're not done with their endless tinkering. And when you tinker with a movie this much, there's no way it's gonna come out just looking buttery fucking smooth and just good and cohesive. And it's gonna fucking feel like a damn collage, I think, in a way. But yeah, the scooper again, Daniel Richtman, is reporting that a third round of test shootings for the film recently took place, and once again, the reaction wasn't what Marvel hoped for. More changes are being done to the film. It's not clear how extensive the additional photography is and whether it's like director Julius Onas is going to be present. But there's got to be like an end to all of this, right? The film gets released a little over 2 months from now. So you're not done? Like, what the fuck? Recently, a rep close to the Brave New World production said and described the additional photography as standard in the business, and especially on large films requiring pickup, but not to this extent. Not reshoot after reshoot. Not again and again and again. Like this is the third round of reshoots. This isn't the third reshoot. This is the third round of reshoots. Like that's a lot of reshoots. And earlier in the year, Marvel got to see a rough cut of the film, but they were not satisfied at all, and a poorly rated test screening didn't help. So word was that the three major action sequences were being reshot from scratch, like all over again. And so Matthew Orton was hired by Marvel to pen the additional scenes and material. Orton's work is being shot in this latest bout of additional photography, which includes Anthony Mackie, Giancarlo Esposito, and Danny Ramirez. The movie originally wrapped filming in June 2023 and was set to come out in July of this year. But obviously that didn't happen. And now we're looking for maybe January of like next year. So the budget is said to be nearing the $400 million mark, Stu. 400
That's a lot.
mil.
That's a lot. That's a lot for a movie.
That means it has to
Yeah.
make $500 million just to make a little profit.
Mm.
And they don't want a little profit. Like they need a billy out of this movie, and I don't see it happening. This is a bomb. This is what we call a flop. Because even if it does decently, it has to do over 400 million to break even. Not a good on a character that honestly no one cares about, no one wants. Falcon is a side character. No one cares. I know you want to pump and promote him. No one cares. And people gotta care, or it's just not gonna come off, Of course Falcon has his fans, but what I mean is like he's not a main character. He's not a main superhero. He's not a very popular character that people really fucking want. Yes, Doom deserves his own movie. Absolutely.
He does. He does. And that's the problem. They won't.
Well, I think he's
They
getting
won't just
one.
do that.
I think
I
that's what
hope so.
Avengers Doomsday is. Yeah. 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 Me
I
too.
hope so.
Me
I
too.
hope so because he. I hope so because he needs it. Because
Yeah.
that's the only way. That's the only way it's gonna make sense. That's
Yeah.
the only way. That's the only way you're gonna be able to to properly. You know what I mean? Pay him his because in the Marvel universe,
Yeah.
Doom is an essential character.
Yeah.
In every sense of the matter. Even though you
He's
don't
a
hear
mad
from him much,
scientist and a
he's a man.
sorcerer.
Yes, yes. And even like I said, even though you don't hear from him much,
Master of both. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. When you do hear from him, you hear from him. He usually has something to say, and he says it loud. Um, with the way they introduced Thanos, you would think that they would, kind of do the same thing, but just in a
Yeah.
more grandeur fashion.
Yeah.
Um, but when we got Thanos, we got Thanos. And they did a good job, man. Like those running movies for that 10 years, they did
Yeah.
a
I was
really good
excited.
job. Yeah, they
Yeah.
did a really good job. Like we were excited about the whole thing.
Did
It
that.
was it
Oh my
was
god.
yeah. But
Those were the
now,
best. Changed the fucking game, bro. Marvel movies, superhero movies, that shit was the shit. Actors, like anybody in the industry, all you wanted to do was be in a fucking Marvel movie, a comic movie. Now you got motherfuckers being like MCU. Nah, I'm good, and that's crazy. For an actor to be like I'm good on an MCU movie would never have happened pre Endgame. Never,
nah, it would never happen now. Because like
unless
I said, the movies were good. They were well
yeah,
acted, well directed, well scripted.
yeah, I mean that's just
Everything
like
was
De Niro or something. But yeah, like
yeah, special effects are great.
new
Um,
actors, young actors, bro, that was the pinnacle. The pinnacle.
yeah, yeah.
But we'll see, man. Brave New World. Mm-mm. We're gonna get Isaiah Bradley for like a quick second. Like he'll probably say something. It's not gonna. I hope that we get like a cool little montage, like a little quick movie of like the Isaiah Bradley story, like a little flashback when he's young during the Tuskegee experiment where they're testing the super soldier serum. That whole thing. Like I hope they show that. That would be dope. Like that's pulling right out of the truth comic.
And you know what
that
Disney,
Grap showed us.
yeah, and you know what Disney could do? They could do these like Doom deserves its own movie. They could do a little movie for Doom, put it on Disney Plus, and then just do a little origin or whatever. So then that way, when you come to the real movies, you can cut through all that. We can get straight to the meat and gravy. That's I thought that's what Disney Plus was for, to put out little side movies and things to keep the stories going. But
Yeah,
that hasn't been the case. That really hasn't been the case.
yeah. Well, Mackie was quoted. He said, well, they're kind of talking. Let me see this little interview they said here. Let me show you. The Brave New World. It's a brave new world. When asked about how Wilson would handle the mantle of Captain America in the new film, which released on February, he said, Sam's evolution is simple. He's still a counselor. He's still serving soldiers, but at the same time, now he's a leader of his community and the country. Mackie also pointed out that Wilson is a different kind of Captain America in the upcoming film, especially without super soldier serum. It's very different with the serum. You can fight anybody, said Mackie. When you don't have the serum, you have to be smart and engineer different ways of defeating enemies. With Sam, him being a counselor, he uses more of his brains than brawn. He uses more of his wit than his fists, and he's more of a friend to everyone. Mackie said that he only started reading Marvel comic books after being cast as Falcon. A lot of people might not like this, but I never read comics. He said, I've watched every cartoon. I like everything from Tom and Jerry to Teen Titans. But if you haven't watched Teen Titans, that's my favorite cartoon. Go online and search the Booty Scooty. So he's talking about Teen Titans Go.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Oh no. Because I have kids, I watched all the cartoons. I've only gotten into reading comic books when I got cast as Falcon. I went and bought like 50 to 60 different comic books from the original Falcon all the way up to new ones that have come out. Mackie also highlighted that I guarantee you didn't read them all. Mackie highlighted that one of the unique aspects of Captain America films is its realistic world compared to other Marvel movies. So he says, if you like the Marvel movies, they go with different genres. He said, you have the fantasy world, you have the space world, you have the raccoon world. With Captain America stories, it's always been the realistic, grounded world. And I'm sure he's very proud of that. This movie stays in the line with the original Captain America, of that thrill, of that espionage, of that grounded nature with storytelling and really investing the actual audience into the story, which he's not wrong. The Cap movies were some of the best out of the MCU, just because they were just really well written movies. They didn't have all the pizzazz and cosmic woo woo, but they were really really well done. He commented on his outfit for Captain America: Brave New World. He said it's a high tech suit. He said, I went to Wakanda, met with everybody in Wakanda. We had dinner. It was a great time. We threw a welcome party. It was dope. But when I was leaving, they gave me a suit, right? I put it on. I kick harder. I fly faster. And it gives me the ability to be more agile in my skills. So it's taking my skills to a completely different level. So it's basically his super soldier serum that he doesn't have.
Right. The
Mackie,
suit.
yeah, the suit. He also revealed that his favorite superhero in Marvel Universe is not Falcon, is not Falcon or Cap. He said, my favorite character of all time is Incredible Hulk. He said, I've always been a Hulk fan. When I was a kid, I used to watch TV shows. I just always loved the Hulk. Shout out to Pete Rock, who also is a Hulk fan. He said, however, he does have one question relating to when the green skinned hero hulks up. He said, I always wondered how come everything came off except the pants. Everything, his shirt, his shoes came off, but his pants stayed. I always thought that was weird. I don't know, Mackie. I think you're weird for wanting his pants off. But hey. I always just thought they just stretched and but they didn't break because they're pants. Uh, but man, it's not. I don't think it's like too. I I don't know. I hope it's a good movie. I do. I hope it's a good movie. I just hope that they didn't botch it with whatever they're doing, whatever their reshoots and bullshit is all about. Because hopefully it's just written well and done well.
Right. It is. Well. It remains to be seen. Number one. Number two, we're gonna give it. Everybody's gonna give it a chance. But if it's not
Mhm.
good, be prepared for the backlash. I'm telling you now, it's
Yes,
gonna be
sir.
bad.
And the MCU casts the Beyonder. So the Avengers Secret Wars movie, if you guys know the Secret Wars comic, have a character called the Beyonder. And he's like the big bad that sort of puts together the whole secret war on Battle World and summons all the heroes and makes them fight and have this big war. And fans are most excited about this movie, Doomsday and Secret War, because Secret Wars is a great comic. Everyone loves Doctor Doom. Finding out the Russo brothers are doing them again, and that Robert Downey Jr. is back. This is the only thing that like Marvel has that I'm just as excited for as say what DC has coming down the pike. So I'm really looking forward to it. Um, while not much is known about their plots, it's likely they'll adapt the Time Runs Out storyline and obviously Secret Wars. Time Runs Out and Secret Wars. Go read those books. Um, Speaking of go read those Time Runs Out and Secret Wars, um, there's some Fantastic Four comics too that you want to grab before the Fantastic Four movie. Um, like I was saying before, the Earth X comics, and the what do you call it in the Jonathan Hickman FF. But your obvious, your basic shit. Fantastic Four number one. You can read all this stuff digitally. Number one, you got the introduction. Obviously, number 48 is the coming of Galactus. 49, whereas Silver Surfer comes in with Galactus, and they it's more of like a less than just like it's like they're actually here. 48's kind of like they just appear, more of a cameo. 50 comes the big showdown with the Silver Surfer and Galactus. Fantastic Four Life Story number one from 2021, that's more recent, is the modern reimagining, which places the Fantastic Four in the 60s, exploring their origins against the backdrop of social change and the looming Cold War. So I think that's where they're getting a lot of the inspiration from this from. So Fantastic Four Life Story number one, 2021, recent comic. And it's sort of, you could kind of skip the old Fantastic Four if you wanted to. The Shalabal
So the
shit,
old, so the old
huh?
one just don't count. The old one just don't count that once they do
I
this new
mean,
one.
yeah, you know how they retcon shit, but
Yeah.
you can read it or not. You can read it or not. But Silver Surfer 1 through 3, 1968. Mephisto debuts as he targets the Silver Surfer's spirit using Shalabal as a pawn in his, schemes, right? So again, Shalabal is Silver Surfer's wife. Fantastic Four, number 155 to 157. Dr. Doom brainwashes Shalabal in a bid to steal the power cosmic, leading to a dramatic confrontation with the Fantastic Four and the Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer, The Enslavers from 1990, written and drawn by Stan Lee and John Byrne. Stalabal's leadership on Zenla takes center stage as Silver Surfer faces a galactic threat that forces him to reconsider his ties to his home planet and lost love. So what a lot of these comics are just going to give you more insight and background on who the character of Shalabal is. She's not going to be the Silver Surfer though, because she's only Silver Surfer in like this one-off, story. Fantastic Four, 261 and 262, Shalabal reappears as the ruler of Zenla, confronting the Silver Surfer in a tale of love, duty, and enduring cost of their shared past. Again, she's not the Silver Surfer though; she's just his wife, a character from their planet who kind of looks like a human. That's how they look. Those looking forward to the MCU's reported nostalgia embracing neo-futuristic aesthetic have a perfect primer in a comic called Fantastic Four Grand Design. 2-issue series by Tim Scioli that speed runs through 6 decades of Fantastic Four lore. The Marvel Grand Design books kind of just, because the comics have been around for so many decades, it's like it kind of crams the main shit into one quick, and it's a massive narrative that into one evocative storytelling whirlwind that effectively encapsulates the whole Fantastic Four and their if you just need to know kind of like more about them. That's a good one to peep. um what else? I mean, those are pretty much the good Fantastic Four ones to check out. But um as far as like Doomsday, Secret Wars, Time Runs Out, and then obviously Secret Wars, Jonathan Hickman, incredible. Robert Downey Jr. set to return, obviously, but he's not going to be Iron Man. He's not, but he may still be Tony Stark. But he's going to play Doctor Doom, taking on this key role as the main character of the movie. He's not going to just be like the villain. He's going to be the main character. Will there be other superheroes and other characters? All of them, like probably many of them. So, but he'll be like definitely in every scene. Whether he's going to be good or bad, we don't know. The Fantastic Four are confirmed to appear in the Avengers movies too. Secret Wars is like everybody, right? So it should bring everybody, kind of like Endgame. They're basically recreating Endgame and Infinity War. So they're doing a 2-part Avengers. That's Hollywood. Worked the first time. We cookie cutter. We do it again, and so that's basically what it's going to be. But
I mean,
as for the other
it worked
character,
because it worked with Avengers and it worked with Endgame. It was 2 parts to Endgame.
that's what I'm
The
saying.
Avengers movie had what 3 parts, but the second 2 movies were more connected
Right,
than the first. But
right,
like you said, it's their formula, it's cookie cutter. They're trying to squeeze all they can out of it,
yeah.
and they got I don't know, bro. I used to be like, man, I can't wait to see these movies. Now it's like, all right, I'll wait and see when they come out, see what they do, and then I'll see what's up. But if they're good, I'll give them a thumbs up. And if not, they definitely will get the thumbs down.
It's very insightful.
Yeah. But I am excited for yeah. What I am excited for is Fantastic Four at the end of the day. It's new,
Yeah.
it's different. It might be what we need for the month
Mm,
for the MCU.
mhm.
Captain America, about 50-50 on it. I'm gonna go see it. And Thunderbolts, it just is what it is, baby. I'm gonna see it and
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Yeah. I mean, compared to the DCU, what the DCU is cooking up, none of it really. The only thing that really compares, the only thing that I think is really looks great is the Avengers movies. As for the characters that they've got, the rumors suggest that there's going to be over 50 characters, including some popular Marvel legacy heroes that we haven't seen before and stuff like that. The industry insider that always feeds us, Daniel Richtman, recently shared a rumor on his private Patreon that Marvel Studios is casting a secret role for Avengers Doomsday. The character is said to be a well-known Marvel figure who will also play a major role in Avengers Secret Wars. While the description is vague, making it hard to pinpoint the character, the iconic, I think, character that it could be that comes to mind for me is the Beyonder. It's got to be the Beyonder. Like, that's what
Mm,
makes sense. That's the character that is the well-known Marvel character that is the main source in the Secret Wars story.
mm. Or maybe a century. We don't know.
Who?
Maybe a century. I don't know.
No, we already know who Sentry is.
Mm. Yeah, I'm saying in the like in the other. Well, yeah, but I
They're
wouldn't be
saying that this
surprised.
is a new character that we don't know who it is yet. We don't know who it is yet, but it's said to be a well-known figure that has a major role in Secret Wars. Um, Century would
Yeah,
be a
that would
good
have to.
would be
That would.
that would be
No,
Century would
that
be
would
a
have
good
to be
idea, except that we already know of Century.
right. Now then that would have to be. Yeah, that would have to be Beyonder. That has to
Yeah.
be the Beyonder.
Well,
The crazy part is how are
he's
they
also
gonna how they gonna portray the Beyond?
well, he's got a
That's the
huge
thing.
role in Time Runs Out and Secret Wars storylines. So
Yeah.
Time Runs Out and Secret Wars are basically Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. So go read Time Runs Out, read Secret Wars, at least skim them, at least check them out, guys, and you'll see the Beyonder in both of those stories. And he's the main character of both of those stories. And in the comics, the Beyonders were responsible for the incursions, the events where alternate realities collided, threatening to destroy entire universes unless one Earth was destroyed. And this is where the Illuminati was at, and like Jonathan Hickman, they just really like blew me away with the story. It blew my fucking mind. It's one of the best comics ever written, in my opinion. If you like sci-fi, if you like deep ass shit that makes your mind go wow, like who the fuck thinks of that shit? That's the kind of shit, man, that I'm talking about. And you know, Jonathan Hickman hasn't written a screenplay, so he doesn't directly write these movies. But if you adapt his comics, you're gonna make great fucking movies, great sci-fi
Whenever
movies.
whenever I read anything he writes, comic wise, it just blows me out the water, bro. Like I
It
be
does.
like I'll start reading, I'll be like, man, this is gonna be just like average, and I'll read it. But by the end of the comic, I'm like, damn. I'm like your
Yeah,
left one. I'm like, damn, this was good, bro. Like this was some of the best comic writing I read. Like it blows you away. It
blows your
literally
mind.
the pacing of it, the way he introduces the characters and it keeps them all interesting. And then he does all of that while keeping the plot moving throughout the
Hmm.
comic. So when you get to the end of that comic, you
Right,
desperately want to read the next comic, and
right.
you're like, yo, that what's gonna happen?
Hmm.
It's just
Hmm.
great. The character interactions are very very good.
Yeah,
I like John Wick.
yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I'm truly a
for a
fan.
sci-fi author, you can't do better, especially in comics. And his white pages are unique to him, and they're like sort of like info dumps in a way, and it's just a way to make his stories more rich and just I don't know, like you'll have just a page that's just a blank white page, and it'll be an email between two characters, and you're like, what the fuck is this? And it'll just be so, and it just makes the story so rich and just so like it's so detailed. And but these catastrophic events, these incursions, were part of their the Beyonders experiment to study life and destruction and plunging the multiverse into chaos and forcing heroes and villains to act. And notably, the Beyonder also managed to kill the Living Tribunal during this storyline.
Mm,
So if you know, he's a major comic character. You've seen him with he's like got one head that floats, but it's like got three faces on it, and it turns around. One of them's got like a sheet hanging over it, and one like he's got these three heads. He's called the Living Tribunal, and he's like a god basically in the cosmic in Marvel cosmic universe. Like there's like eternity, there's these other gods, and so Doctor Doom discovered the Beyonders plan, and takes action to stop them. In a way, Doom is almost an anti-hero in this story. So, man, using Robert Downey Jr. to play an anti-hero Doctor Doom, bro, this could be
genius.
it could be great. It could be the return of the great MCU. It really could. The potential is there. And with help, Doom has defeated the Beyonders and stole their immense power. So this is where Doom becomes God Doom, and he's got all white on, and that's where you have the all white Doom. Oh, I had to chrome out God Doom for y'all. Hold on. I chromed out God Doom, God Emperor Doom. So I use the
That's hard.
liquid chrome.
That's hard.
It's liquid chrome, and I just coated him with it, and it looks so much better. Look at that shit, bro. That shit is just chrome, real chrome. It's beautiful. Because the original, remember, is the original is just dull gray. Not done nothing, not even like silver, just dull gray. But now he's fucking chromed out. And he comes with this skull, like a spine that he ripped out. And yeah, he's just God Emperor Doom. And now he's chromed out and he's dope.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. That's nice. Yeah, that's dope. It looks
But
so much better. It just it
yeah, the
accents it more. It
chrome,
brings the white.
yeah,
It makes the white stand out more, and I like it, man. I like it.
appreciate it, appreciate it. But yeah, so using this godlike energy, Doom creates Battle World, a realm made from fragments of destroyed universes. And he declares himself the ruler known as God Emperor Doom. And that's him. That's how he looks. So Tony Stark, he'll be, or not Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., he'll be like this Doom guy that's like, he's this, he's gonna be this powerful, he's gonna help, he's gonna save the earth, he's gonna save our universe from the Beyonders. But really, he's doing it because he's gonna steal their powers. It's fucking it's classic. And so the power allows him to temporarily hold the broken multiverse together and make this giant planet of these broken bits of other, and it's like these, so it ends up being a sphere, and it looks like chunks of different planets and just like different biomes. And so Battle World, it's like this huge basically arena. Think of it as a giant coliseum where all the superheroes and villains will battle it out and have a secret war that no one on Earth knows is taking place. And for a while, we've speculated that the Beyonders' absence might mean characters like Scarlet Witch or Franklin Richards would take on that role. And while I don't put that past Marvel, and but I really just hope they don't do that. But man, that would suck. Like
It,
that would suck. So
it,
but yeah, if the rumored casting is truly for the Beyonder, it removes the need to theorize about alternate sources of power and the creation of Battle World and by extension Secret Wars. So this is really big news that so I think, and I think it's the Beyonder. I think that's who they're talking about. So because it who else would it be? What other character that we have not known, that we haven't heard about yet, that hasn't been announced, that's not in anything, that we haven't talked about, that's a main integral part of both Time Runs Out and Secret Wars? There isn't one. It is the Beyonder. So very excited they cast him.
yeah, me too.
And yeah. But that because yes, him being in the movie means they're not gonna fucking have the Scarlet Witch take his place. That would really suck. That would just really suck. So they're not gonna do that. Yeah. But yeah. Some people were, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. This is hilarious. This made me laugh. Laugh with me. Marvel Studios to bring back Kang the Conqueror. Robert Downey Jr. out. Jonathan Major gets a second chance. They cross out Doomsday. And they're like, no more. It's gonna be about Jonathan Majors now. Just because, let's see what they cinematic universe seismic shifts, both on and off screen. The recent recasting of Jonathan Majors Kang the Conqueror with Robert Downey Jr. as Doom marks one of the most dramatic pivots yet. Well, yeah. But what makes you think it's going backwards? Why? Because Jonathan Majors got, he got a like not guilty plea or some shit. That's what it is.
Pretty much.
So they dropped the charges or some shit, dismissed
Yeah,
the case
girlfriend
or whatever.
dropped it. Yeah, she
Yeah,
dropped the charges. They dismissed the case. He's
yeah,
free and clear.
right. But that does not mean, oh, now Marvel's gonna like, okay, fuck it, well, let's bring him back. No, absolutely not. Jonathan Majors burst onto the Marvel scene. This is just wishful thinking. I don't know what they're talking about, but to clickbait, man, to title an article like that, I was like, what? Fucking guys. Yeah, the return of Robert Downey Jr. and Dr. Jones' ascension, and then basically the whole article is just them talking about the reality of what's happening. Like at no time do they say, here's where they say. So for Majors, the dismissal of the lawsuit is a bittersweet moment. It marks legal victory, but comes too late to reclaim his standing in the MCU. You see this sentence?
Yep.
You see that sentence? What about
Hmm.
this? What about this sentence? What about all this shit? What about all that 1 in a million talk?
Yeah, it's just clickbait.
Clickbait, man. His convention and subsequent fallout have already led to lost opportunities, tarnishing what was poised to be a career defining run. Yeah, but nah, he's done at Marvel. He's done as Kang. That storyline, and I'm glad. I'm not glad that his career's over. I'm not glad about him. I'm not saying that. I'm glad that the Kang story is over, and I'm glad that they're doing Secret Wars. Can you imagine? We were gonna have to sit through a whole nother fucking Marvel, a whole nother fucking Kang saga. Like I'm done. I was already done with Quantum Mania. I was like, this shit, nah, B. Nope. And I'm glad. Like I'm glad. So I'm not
Gonna do
glad.
Loki. We sat there with Loki, and
Uh,
it's a lot. To start all
I
over
just
again.
I didn't see it going anywhere. Like I didn't see the story going anywhere better. The way they were doing it, like I was like watching, I'm like, this could be unfolding in so many better ways, and they just weren't doing anything. And I was like, this is not gonna end up, this is gonna be boring. Like it's already fucking boring. And like where they were going with it, I couldn't see it carrying a whole nother 4 movies or whatever. Like, nah. So I'm glad that it happened for that like I'm glad that took place. I'm not glad that Majors got like I don't want to see a man get fucking lose his career and shit like that. Like I don't that doesn't do nothing for me. If that jazzes
Yeah,
you up and floats your boat and tickles your balls, then hey, that's good for you.
yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't tinkle my
Do you?
gooch. I don't care.
Right.
It's not for me. But yeah. The his ex-girlfriend apparently dropped the lawsuit and
He's
so
free.
yeah, he's good as far as and do I think Marvel was right for I don't think Marvel was right for dropping him like that. I really don't. The
That's what
case what
everybody said.
if he got convicted or something, yeah. But what is this
Different, man.
bullshit? What happened to
Yeah.
innocent prove guilty? What happened to America? What happened to the American justice system? What the fuck is that? This cancel culture bullshit. You're gonna cancel someone before they're even convicted?
I agree. I mean, look at Jeremy Renner and all he did. They never fired him, removed him, or anything.
Okay.
He did way worse. He did. Matter of fact, he's the damn poster child. He should be like what he did was just
It's
totally
a real head scratcher, huh?
unspeakable. Yeah, it is a real head scratcher. Because what he
Yeah,
did was totally. And this is the crazy part. He went to court and admitted that he did it. Yep,
right.
I did do that. But I'm sorry I did it. You know, I'm here to make
He
amends.
did the shit.
Yes, I did.
Right.
Yes, I did do all it, and my intent was this, and I don't get
And
it, bro. I
Majors
don't get
ain't
it.
denying nothing. They had Majors on tape. Like what I did, you heard what I did. What am I gonna deny it? Like you heard it, it's on tape. Now what?
Yeah,
He's a little grandiose. He's a lot grandiose. But hey, he's kind of weirdly grandiose. But that's not a crime. It's not a crime. Uh, he never put his hands on her, so that's what matters, in my opinion.
Yep. Yep. Matter of fact, he tried to avoid the violence. But
Not that
yeah,
verbal abuse isn't
isn't
just as
violence, right?
or even worse
Or bad, or even
in some
worse.
cases.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But like I said, if you want to compare the two, and you want to say, all right, they should have fired him, but then when you look at what Jeremy Renner did, they didn't fire him. He stayed on. He played a Hawkeye. There's no sweat.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
like their personal lives are their personal lives. If this means that he can't meet my movie schedule needs, and I'm the
right,
director
right.
or the owner of Disney or whatever,
That's
oh, now we
something.
got a problem. Now
That's
we got
one
a
thing.
problem.
Right.
Yeah. But as long as he can meet, or as long as he doesn't do anything that's so damaging to his societal persona that I can't use him,
Mm-hmm.
it's business as usual. You know what I mean? Like, that was just a personal thing that happened between him and his girlfriend. We're not focusing on that. You go to court. Look, I need you here on the 15th, the 30th, and the 27th to film. Think you can make it? Oh yeah, yeah. All right, do
Yeah.
your thing, baby.
Yeah. Do your thing. Um. Yeah. Oh, the remember that Hawkeye show with Jeremy Renner?
Yeah,
You brought up Jeremy
yeah,
Renner.
yeah.
They're reported indicating that they're filming season 2 that will take place in fall 2025. So the show should come out in fall of 2026 or 2027.
Damn,
Who waits
damn,
3-4 years for a season
damn.
2? Now I get Renner got fucked up, but he's been
Yeah, I
putting
was
out
ready to
Kings.
say.
He's been putting out mayors of Kingstown's back to back. He went right back to work doing Mayor of Kingstown, and they're doing another season. So it ain't that. It ain't the accident.
Nah, it ain't. I think it's Disney's way of stretching it out.
Yeah,
um,
stretching it out. That's
they're just
one.
stretching out just to have shows like in the chamber.
That's
Uh,
5 years between season 1 and season 2.
yeah.
5 years. That's stretching it out. All right. That's stretching it out. Yeah.
Because you
It's
figure with
stretching.
all the stuff yeah, because with the stuff they got going on, it looks to
Mm-hmm.
me like they want to have content uh for the next however many years, and then maybe move on to something else like a whole new different, or whatever's popular at the moment. But
Right.
for the most part, I'm with you. I don't
Yeah.
wait that long to see Hawkeye.
Well, considering how long Hawkeye season 1 and season 2 were between reportedly falls in, in the MCU timeline, predicting what will happen in, new episodes is kind of hard. Like we really don't. It's hard to, what could it be? Like so much time has happened in the MCU world. Like, but with Kate Bishop assumed to be, taking a bigger role in the MCU, she's the woman that's taking over for the guy character. So the new season, I think, would be setting her up more and be more about her setting up her place in the Young Avengers. Cause and I hope when they do Young Avengers that it's gonna be a show. Young Avengers needs to be a series, not a movie. We
I
got the
agree.
Avengers movies, then we gotta do the X-Men movies, then we gotta do the Avengers versus the X-Men movies. So we ain't got time for Young Avengers. We ain't got time for it. Kamala Khan, y'all can do your thing. Kate Bishop, y'all go do your thing in a nice TV show, you know, Gilmore Girls, whatever the fuck, little TV show. That's what it needs to be like. Leave it at that. Um, for Kate Bishop, season 2 of Hawkeye would kind of show her developing her skills as a leader in preparation for, her place as leader of the Young Avengers. Also important to note is that a late 26 or 2027 release date would put Hawkeye season 2 right between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Doomsday in May of 2026, Secret Wars in May of 2027. So both Jeremy Renner and Stanfield that plays Kate may be part of the Avengers Doomsday cast, right? Because we're talking about 50 characters, 50 superheroes. So we can expect to see Hawkeye, I'm sure, in that 50. I hope we definitely see Wolverine and some maybe Deadpool. Like I'm expecting to see, you know, I don't expect to see like Gambit and shit like that, but
No, no, we
that
got to
would be
see the
cool.
main characters. Yeah, we got to see the
Um,
main characters.
but we guys, but I mean, 50 is a lot of characters. How many characters? If you think about how many characters in Endgame, just the women, it was goddamn at least 20 women alone, 25 or something like that. So yeah, it's easy to fill up 50 characters with. But considering Hawkeye's place as a street level hero, a lot of people expect this next story to be more grounded and outside of the multiverse shenanigans. But the story details, however they play out, having both Clint Barton and Kate Bishop back in will only add depth and richness to the adventures. And because they always the grounded stories, like Mackie said, the Captain America stories, the more grounded, more realistic stories, they kind of serve as the glue, and they kind of they ground it, and they make it more rich and stuff. So the like I said, Hawkeye season 2 reportedly in development and rumored to debut on Disney Plus in early 26 or early 27. Season 1, of course, is streaming now. But yeah, Young Avengers, that needs to be a show.
Yeah, it's a long time. Young
It's a long
Avengers
time.
definitely, it definitely needs to be a show. But when you put young in there, you mix it with Disney, they're gonna get a bunch of kids, not young people, just kids, to play the Avengers, and they're gonna play that card because that's something else they do.
How you feel about Lord
Now,
of the Rings?
the new one on Prime or
Just
as a movie
as a
franchise.
story, like as yeah, not even as a movie franchise, just as a thing, as a thing, as a whatever the fuck. Just Lord of the Rings, period. Just in general, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I'm positive. I'll give it
You're a fan.
like a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Okay.
You can
They're
listen.
doing an
You can show me the Hobbits, right, Reno? You can show me
right,
the Hobbits walking along a grassy knoll with that Lord of the Rings music playing in the background, and they just
right,
walking and skipping and having. I'm cool with that. That's how
right,
much I
right,
like it. I'm cool watching them just walking,
right.
capes
Well,
flapping in the wind.
I know you gotta go. I know you gotta go and deal with your families and do that good stuff that Thanksgiving, has us doing. But the before we go, Lord of the Rings has a new movie coming out called War of the Rohirrim. It's an animated movie, but it looks phenomenal.
It does.
Really
It
dope.
does.
You saw it, yeah, yeah. It looks amazing.
Yeah,
I
yeah, it
can't.
does.
Uh, and a legendary actor from Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings live action trilogy is actually returning to do a role in this animated movie War of the Rohirrim. The guy that played Saruman, Christopher Lee, the great Christopher Lee, will be back doing his role. So that's pretty cool. He has a really iconic voice. But yeah, it's anime. It's like an anime version of Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim. Uh, so looks really good. Looks really, really good. Check that out, y'all. I was gonna talk about Andor and Star Wars and all that good stuff with you, bro. But if you gotta bounce, you gotta
Yeah,
bounce.
yeah, 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 yeah. No. We can. We jumping in
Well,
tomorrow. We can hit it tomorrow.
yeah, nah, we gonna be back, y'all, tomorrow, and we're gonna do it up. We're gonna, I think, yeah, tomorrow we're gonna talk about Andor. There's a new season coming out and all of that good stuff. So we got a lot of stuff, a lot of changes and things like that they're doing. So we'll talk about that. We can talk about how Star Wars has fixed George Lucas's worst Ahsoka Tano decision. We can talk about that. We can definitely go in on what they're doing with this character Ray. Uh, I got some funny articles to show y'all talking about Ray is the new Darth Vader. Nah, Ray's the new face
Oh
of
Lord.
Star Wars, taking place of Darth Vader. Uh,
Or She
Shit like that.
Wars.
Remember, just delusional shit. Just delusional shit. Hilarious articles. Um, Ahsoka season 2 plans reportedly changed in case the series meets the same fate as the Acolyte. They were worried about what you know. Fans hated the Acolyte and they don't want to repeat that, and so smartly they're like gonna change direction. I see Marvel not being as proactive in listening to the fans and making course direction and course, so looks like they're doing so we got some interesting news about that. And Star Wars' latest shocking retcon rewrites the Bad Batch's origin, making Crosshair even darker than he was before. So we'll chop all that up tomorrow, and then we'll be back Saturday for DC Power Hours. So that's what we got coming up, guys. Be safe. Have a great Thanksgiving. Thank y'all for spending this time with us. You could be anywhere in the world, but you was here. We appreciate that. Hit that like button. Please leave us a comment because that really helps out the channel, man. And we'll see you guys tomorrow around this time, around 7 o'clock.
Peace.
Peace.